Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching from. This is Alex I'm your confidence coach, and I have the pleasure of interviewing today Leesa Askew. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Alex, for having me. I'm so excited.
Me too, because the topic today is the confidence on video. Leesa is going to be teaching us about that. A little bit of introduction. Leesa is an award-winning speaker, corporate coach, and author. She enjoys helping others unleash their inner greatness and take supreme accountability.
Mm-hmm.
And the topic today is, we are all entrepreneurs and we live in the online world right now. And if we want to attract customers to us, one of the best ways to do that is by showing who we are on camera and on video. But that's hard to do. It's hard to be authentic, and a lot of us really struggle with confidence with that. And that's why I invited Leesa here today to help us go through that phase. Maybe that first time on camera, maybe the other times when you're not really sure what to talk about, how to structure your speech and everything around it. Thank you so much for meeting with me.
Well, you're welcome. And Alex, thank you for having this platform. One universal thing we can all benefit from is greater confidence. It doesn't matter where you are in your journey, professionally or personally. The more confident you are, the more clarity you'll have, and the stronger delivery you'll have. So definitely.
Yeah, that is so true. Absolutely. It doesn't matter where you are. I'm so glad you said that. Especially that you do have a transformational and a very inspiring journey behind you, probably even a more inspiring journey still ahead of you. But could you share with us a little bit about yourself before we jump into the subject matter topic?
Absolutely. Well, my background, I live in Florida, in Jacksonville, Florida. I know you and I are miles apart, so this is even a more powerful platform.
Small oceans, just a small ocean.
Oceans, right? So I love that. And that's one of the benefits of having video and FaceTime and Zoom and things of this nature, because you can connect all over the world. A little bit about myself, like I said, I live in Jacksonville, Florida. My background is in journalism, and then I got into sales. I worked in corporate America for over 17 years and really loved sales, loved relationship building, and I worked on growing my career. And what prompted me to start working for myself, I applied for the same promotion twice. The first time I didn't get it, the person who got the job, I had the honor of training them. And then after 9 months, they quit and the job came up again. So I was like, this time it's for me.
That's my cue.
Yeah. I was patient. I grew more in my leadership. I grew more in a lot of different areas. When the job came available again, I applied and I didn't get the job. After being the last candidate available, I went through all the interviews. They reposted the job, and the feedback I received was, you're too nice. We just think you don't have a backbone.
Too nice.
Too nice. And I feel like in business, especially when you're a woman, you have the two opposing side. You don't want to come across as too stern, and because it looks like you are being bitchy, right? And if you're too nice, and you're too soft. Where if you were a male, you might not have the same type of stereotypes. And this is just speaking in general. Everyone has a different situation. I was so shocked that I was too nice. From that, instead of getting angry, I had a 24-hour pity party. But then I decided to change my life and look at how I can grow and be more effective in my communication. And that's when I started working on myself. I joined Toastmasters, and that was a phenomenal turning point for me in how to build confidence in speaking on camera. And then my job was laid off. So instead of going back to the corporate sector, I decided to work for myself and help others through their journey and unleash their potential.
Wow, that is inspiring. I have a little bit of a similar story behind, and I know how hard it can be at times to just keep growing your confidence. And I also joined Toastmasters for a brief moment in time, and those people were so inspiring. I mean, when you see somebody who struggles with speech impediment, for example, and they go out there and talk, and you don't have that impediment, but you wouldn't do what they do. It's like, wow. that
Yes.
shifts your whole perception of who you are and, you know, what you're taking for granted.
Agree.
Um,
I think people forget that when you want to develop a craft, you have to practice. If you wanted to work out and become slim and fit or trim or stronger, you work out, you do things. If you want to get better at a sport, you practice. If it's basketball or yoga or tennis, you practice. The one area that people forget is communication and confidence. You have to practice. And clubs like Toastmasters or other outlets where you're able to speak more, the better, the more you do it, the better you will get.
That is so true. That's so true about practice. I saw this meme, I think, when somebody's asking a sportsman, like a successful sportsman, and they say, "You are so talented. How do you do all that?" And he says, "It's practice." No, but you're so talented. It's practice. No, but it's talent. You got talent. No, it's practice. So.
I tell people sometimes after I speak on a keynote, I have people come up to me, "You're such a great speaker. I wish I could be like you." And I say to them, "You could be better than me. I'm not any better than you. I'm not smarter than you. I'm not more talented than you. It's just I've practiced more." And that's the difference. Talent and skill is very important, but you can have a load of talent, but if you don't craft your skills, then you're really not going to be the best that you can be. Where
Yeah.
someone less talented who works on crafting and practicing, they will blow anyone out the water.
Yes, and that is so true. And so, guys, it's only practice. So even if you haven't done a video, or right now you think your videos are crappy, there's a lot of space for improvement, and it's
Yes.
totally possible to improve. So let's jump into the topic, the confidence on video. So what are the steps that we can take to feel more confident when we're going on video, when we're going live or to record a video?
Absolutely. I love acronyms. So one of my favorite acronyms when it comes to presentations, it's PACE. It's P-A-C-E, PACE. And the P stands for powerful pauses. When you are getting ready to do a video, especially live, controlling the tone and the pauses makes your speech or your presentation a lot more powerful. If you take a moment and you say, "Good morning," and you just pause and let that marinate.
Wow,
That
that
will
was
grab your audience's attention. On top of that, on behind the scenes, I know we talked about the duck on the water, how a duck looks so smooth, but they're paddling. When you pause, that's you catching your breath, telling yourself, "I can do this." And then you move on. So powerful pauses. The A stands for assess your audience. Make sure you know who you're speaking with. If you're talking to a group of your peers at work, you may want to make things appropriate. Make sure you have your numbers and your data correct. If you're talking to a general crowd and you want to be more entertaining, try to throw in some jokes or think about current events, things that are going on, and be sensitive to that. Right now, we're in a world pandemic. No matter where you are, if you're speaking to someone, you don't want to say things insensitive about things going on in the world. You want to be aware of current events, which gives you a lot of street cred, I like to say. The C in PACE is for calm yourself. Whatever you need to do to stay calm. It's easy to get nervous, and if you have one mess up, people don't know it until you make it apparent. So once you do, if you messed up something, stay calm. The advantage of having an online platform, you can have your notes and people can't see. You can literally take your notes right under your camera. If that helps you to stay calm and stay on track, just make sure you're calm at all times. And finally, the E, two things, energy and excitement. When you're speaking, make sure you have the energy. You show some excitement. Even if that's not natural to who you are, work on being uplifting when you're speaking and projecting your voice. It doesn't mean you have to be the most outgoing person, but when you get louder or you smile or you calm down, just change your energy and your excitement, and that will also engage your audience, even if you're on video. So just to recap, PACE, it's powerful pauses, assess your audience, calm yourself, and keep your energy and excitement high. If you do those simple 4 steps, it will help you have stronger video presence and confidence.
Awesome. I think that's very easy to remember. I like acronyms too, and I loved everything that you said. I think, powerful pauses for me, for example, it's extremely difficult. So, guys, just to let you know, I still do this, but it was so much worse for me. I just don't do pauses. My pause is always filled with something. Usually, it's not chatter.
A
It's
filler
not
word.
a powerful. It's a pause, but it's not a powerful pause. Um, and I realized it's because I have this feeling, and I think a lot of people in the audience also have that feeling, um, that people won't listen to me when I break. That somebody will just jump in if I stop talking.
Wow.
And well, this is something that I obviously have been working on myself with, but still, this habit, it stays. um, See, I still have that, right, of saying the and the thing is, when you're on camera, when you're on your own, you're doing a live
Mhm.
video, for example, no one is going to jump in. So that thought, I guess, is really important, that it's
Yeah.
easier, it's easy to take that pause, and maybe easier to take that pause on video than it is in a real conversation.
Agreed. I think you have a wonderful speaking tone. I know we did a pre-interview, and even the way that you deliver, I feel like is really powerful. So you're doing a great job, Alex.
Oh, thank you.
Self-awareness, you're welcome. Self-awareness is the first step when you know you need to work on something. One thing about me, I'm very animated. So I really make it a hard, like when I speak, I keep my hands together at times because my husband jokes at me. He says, "You're always pulling words out the sky." I'm like, and so I try to work on my hands. And then now that I'm on camera, it's like my head bobbling, like, ah. So when you're aware, you practice, that's how you get better.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you for being aware. Filler words are big for everyone. My filler word is like. I'm like,
Oh.
I'll talk and then I'll say, like, and like this and like that. So I have to catch myself. But you will continue to hone your craft because you are aware of it. And that's another thing about growing in confidence, being vulnerable enough to take feedback and look in the mirror and take supreme accountability, telling yourself, okay, I control this. I need to work at it.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. And being aware is feedback. I think you put it very, very nicely, and this is important for my audience. So being aware of your flaws
Mm,
is good for you, and you shouldn't be punishing yourself for doing that things, which is what I used to do a few years ago. I would just punish myself for saying etc etc etc, right? That was before I had my first training on camera, and it's actually good for you. So that perspective, that okay, now I know, now I have something to work on, that can actually lift you up and give you the energy and the motivation to work on.
Agreed. The
Mhm.
good thing too I wanted to mention is about being on camera is you can go back. It's like an athlete. You can go and look at your game film. You can watch the tape. And instead of being critical, like you said, look at it as areas of opportunity and do an after action review. Tell yourself what you did good, what you could have improved, and what you're going to do better next time. So look at it objectively and not as, oh, I really bummed that and I can't believe I said that. Because when you start saying those things to yourself, you're going to believe it. But say
Yeah.
to yourself, oh, okay, now I know how that looks. I don't like how that looks. This is an area of opportunity for me. So after you get off camera, rewatch your tapes or your interviews and just write down the things that you want to grow from.
Mm-hmm. That's a great thing. And actually, I do that. I always watch my video immediately after doing it. And I don't bash myself. I'm just like,
Good.
okay, this is what I need to work on. And that's a brilliant piece of advice. Yes, go ahead and watch. And a lot of people will feel like, oh, I don't want to watch myself. I can't do that. But
I,
you want to do that because that's exactly how
how
you
you get
grow. That's exactly how we grow. Um, Another question came to me regarding how to keep ourselves calm. So you said you're waving your hands, you're trying to keep them here, right? So everybody has something to work on.
yes.
I work on my arms, etc., etc. But how to keep yourself calm? Maybe once you made a mistake and you realize you made a mistake, and there's this, I used to get like all red in the face if
I
I
know.
said something that's improper. And how do you manage those emotions? Do you have some exercise or a piece of advice that actually helped you to manage that?
No, that's an excellent question. The first thing I do is work on pausing. When I feel like I'm getting baffled, like flustered, I'll just take a deep breath and then pause, say something else and say, well, that's, especially if someone asks you a question, the first thing you can say is, that is a great question.
Mm.
And just take a breath. And right now you're breathing. The more I think about it, that like that, you could take a deep breath,
Oh, that's nice.
calm, reiterate what the person's saying to you. And if you mess up and you just take a deep breath and say, I have so much I want to say right now, let me gather my thoughts. Something as simple as that, people still respect you. You're not going to lose credibility. But if you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm so stupid. I don't know why. I just can't remember what I was going to say. If you start presenting yourself like a scatterbrain, that's when you lose credibility.
Mm-hmm.
If you truly feel like that, be that duck. Be calm on the surface. You're like, just take a deep breath. So I like to take a deep breath. Even I've been speaking for years. I've been around and talked to a lot of different people. I still get nervous and
Mm-hmm.
I still lose my thoughts. Another way to combat it is preparation. Preparation, preparation. Have
Mm-hmm.
notes, have an outline. We discussed being on video. You can have a notepad right by you and people can't even see. So make sure you have your preparation, because preparation will always help you be calmer and smoother. And you got this. Just tell yourself, I can do this. I got this.
Yes. So how do you prepare for a speech? What is your process?
Great question. Depending on what the situation is, I assess the audience. I know you and I talked about confidence and things. And then I think about real-time stories. People can relate to things that you have gone through yourself. It's a lot more challenging when you tell people, you need to do this and you need to do this, and you're preaching. People will get offended and say, who does she think she is? So when I'm preparing for a speech, I first look at vulnerable situations that I can share that happened to me, that I conquered, hoping it'll inspire others.
Mm.
And then if there is something that I need to read, an organization, I read up on them so I know a little bit more about what their mission is. And that way I can fuse some of those elements into what I'm speaking about. Because people love when you know what you're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're talking to a particular organization, if you bring up their mission statement or you infuse that, it gives you so much credibility.
Mm-hmm. That reminds me, when I was still working in the corporate world, we had a speaker, a motivational speaker, do a speech in one of a yearly event at the company.
Wow.
And he didn't do the preparation properly, it seemed, because he was actually putting in some jokes about, so our company was pharmaceuticals, so he just assumed that, and he was talking about medicine and the pharmaceuticals, but the reality was that we were all IT, because I'm an IT engineer, and we are very, very far away from the sales, from the patients. It's like we wish we were closer, but no, this is totally like, back end, sitting at the office and hoping that the solution that you're developing will help somebody somewhere, so that was a hit and a miss. So
that's so true.
yeah.
Assessing your audience.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure the jokes really didn't fall properly. And then him as a speaker may have felt like when people don't laugh at your jokes, that's another part that you may start feeling anxious.
Mm-hmm.
But if that happens, just calm yourself, take a deep breath, and know that, okay, this audience is not engaging in this, go another direction. That comes with practice. Having these outlets where you speak more, you'll know how to just shift to something else.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great story, Alex. Such a good story. Know your audience, people. That's rule number one.
Yes. Well, I mean, that was one of the best speakers in Poland that was still in Poland. So he knew the name of the company, he Googled it, but he didn't ask, he didn't come and ask. And it's always good to ask. And you can also ask your audience, for example, what is it? I do that. What is it that you would like me to talk about? What is it that you would like to learn from me? What is important
That's
for you?
powerful. One of my mantras about being a speaker is every time you step on the stage, you want to AV, AV, and that stands for add value. Every time you speak to people, your goal is to add value to them. It's not about you. You're just the median to give this message. And in your case, to help build confidence. How can you build confidence for people if you're not adding value to them? I love how you ask your audience and people around you what they want to hear. Give the people what they want, right? That's awesome.
it makes your speech better, and it makes them feel that you're engaged. So really, it's a win-win for everybody. Uh,
Absolutely.
Many times we don't ask. Um, let's move on. You mentioned something. You said you're about extreme ownership.
Yes.
Can we talk a little bit more about that? What's extreme ownership? I remember I read this book,
Yes.
Extreme Ownership by ex-Navy SEALs. It was awesome. We just
Oh,
talked about it.
phenomenal. Jocko Willink and Levine.
Yeah.
Yeah, Levine. That's an excellent book. And actually, that book is one of the things that inspired me in my leadership. Having those moments in my career where I didn't get what I thought and I felt like I was qualified, it's easy to victimize yourself. But when I took time to say, I really can't control the outcome, but I can control my reaction. And I like to call it supreme accountability. You just got to be accountable for everything that happens to you, the good and the bad. We love to accept the good in life, but when the bad comes, a lot of us find somewhere to point it to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And the more time you take pointing it to others, then you're not really solving the problem, which inspired me to write a book about supreme accountability and extreme ownership.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about that. I think it's when life serves you lemons, stop making lemonades.
Yes, I actually have a copy. Yeah, there, you're right. So when life gives you lemons, most of us say, make lemonade. Well, I look at lemons, the metaphor is lemons are your challenges and your sour points, all of the problems that you may get in life, whether they're self-induced or they're from things that are out of your control. When you make lemonade, you're just taking it, transforming it, diluting it, making it easier to deal with, but you're not really figuring out, why did I get this lemon in the first place? And that's the supreme accountability, extreme ownership piece. Look at what's causing you to get those lemons. Stop making lemonade. Don't do it just because there's nothing else for me to do to make lemonade. I love lemonade. Make lemonade at your leisure when you want to, not because you're forced, because you're not dealing with what life is giving you. So the book talks about practical solutions to look at what happens to you and figure out how you can change the narrative of your life and the events that happen, and take
I love
extreme
that.
ownership.
I love that. One of the big moments in my life was when I started taking responsibility for everything that's happening, because it's
Ooh, gave
really
me
to be
goosebumps. You gave
responsible
me
for
goosebumps just by saying that.
Yeah, I mean, it's so easy to take credibility for your success, but
Mhm.
actually, when you start to take responsibility for the bad things that happen, then you're taking control. Then you're giving yourself a chance. Then you're giving yourself that tough love. That's brilliant, and then you're giving yourself a chance to really grow and become the person that you can totally be. Otherwise,
Absolutely.
avoidance is.
Absolutely. And it's uncomfortable. And I know you can be a testament to this too. It's not easy being vulnerable. It's not easy saying, okay, I really need to grow up and stop victimizing myself.
Yes.
It's not easy. And even now, I still have challenges, especially when it comes to interpersonal relationships. When you're dealing with people and they hurt you, it's easy to lash out and say, okay, it's that person's fault, instead of saying, what am I doing? We talked about that ancient healing prayer, which I'll let you pronounce it.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yes.
it is. When you told me about that, I was like, wow, your ego has to be at rest. If you have an ego, it's going to be your worst enemy. You have to humble yourself and say, I'm on this earth to become the best version of me. How can I do that?
Yes, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Let's end with this thought because it gave me goosebumps. So I trust that. I trust that. Um,
That's that energy. I feel your energy. You feel my
yes.
energy. I hope the audience feels our energy as well.
Lovely talking to you. Thank you so much for taking the time and sharing all this valuable knowledge with us. And listen, if people want to contact you, what can they contact you about and how can they do that? I mean, we will put the links under the video, but just let us know what is it that you're currently involved in.
Absolutely. Thank you. I do a lot of consulting, one-on-one coaching for speaking, leadership. So you can reach me out. I'm on all the social media outlets with my name, the way it's spelled, Leesa Askew, on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter. So please reach out, shout me at DM. And then I'm also have my website is leesaaskew.com. Alex, I want to take a moment just to thank you. We met on social media. From
Yeah.
the moment that you engaged me, you're so warm. Your purpose is genuine. And I think you're going to continue to exceed all your goals because you really want to help people and make a difference. So keep up the great work. And thank you for allowing me to be here today.
Wow, don't make me cry, girl. Come on. Uh, thank you. I'm sorry, you know, I have eyes in a very wet place. Um,
Keep
thank you
going,
so
because a
much.
lot of times we do stuff and we don't know, am I making a difference? You are making a difference.
Oh, you're very, very sweet. And clearly you are making a difference as well. And I love, love, love your energy. And again, since the moment we met, you were just very, very accommodating. And when I first saw you on video, your smile, your the passion
Aw,
in your eyes, the fire in your eyes, I knew this was going to be a brilliant interview. So thank you for
thank
being you
you.
and
Thank
having
you.
the courage to let others know how awesome they are and they can be.
Absolutely.
Right. So thank you guys also for watching. The links will be under the video on YouTube. This is Alex Tomaszewska, Leesa Askew. Bye.
Bye.